City of New Smyrna Beach. This is October the 19th, 2021, and we are meeting in Commission Chambers. Would you call the roll, please?
James Felt.
Here.
Robert Leonard.
Here.
Christian Tobin.
Here.
Kelly Myers.
Here.
And Brianna Ma.
Here.
You're on the backside, so sorry.
It's okay.
The first thing that I want to mention today before we get started, there was a bit of confusion on the dog's name. The dog's name that we're going today is not Lily, it is Nayla.
Okay, we have no minutes for approval. We'll have that in time for the next meeting. Is there any old business to come before the board?
There is no old business in
Okay.
this meeting.
Any new business other than today's hearing?
And then I'll need to swear in those that are going to testify. So, please stand and raise your right hand. State your full name.
Megan Wilk.
In the matter to which you are about to give testimony, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
The witness has been sworn in.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Rob Leonard, Chairman of the City's Animal Control Board in New Smyrna Beach. We are here today in the matter of whether the dog Nayla, belonging to Patty Garcia, should be classified as a dangerous dog pursuant to Chapter 767 of the Florida statutes. Is Ms. Garcia present? Let the record show Patty Garcia is not present. Was Ms. Garcia properly served?
Yes.
Okay. Is the victim of the bite? We have people coming in. Mrs. Dervis Garcia here. Let the record show that Mrs. Garcia is not here, and she was properly served?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, this is, and for new members, this is a quasi-judicial administrative proceeding. The hearing procedure is as follows. First, we will hear from the investigating officer. We will hear from the victim, and we are scheduled to hear from the dog's owner. After this testimony, anyone who wishes to speak may address with comments based on and limited to testimony and evidence of record. All testimony will be taken under oath, under penalty of perjury. All documents to be presented must be placed into evidence and appropriately documented by the city clerk. If you wish to speak, please raise your hand to be recognized. Approach the microphone, state your name, residence, and address the board directly. We will maintain courtroom decorum throughout the proceedings. If there are any questions regarding this procedure, please ask now. Florida statutes, as they apply to the case before us, define a dangerous dog as one that, according to the records of appropriate authority, has aggressively, without provocation, bitten, attacked, or endangered, or has inflicted severe injury on a human being on public or private property. Severe injury means physical injury that results in broken bones, multiple bites or disfiguring lacerations that require suturing or reconstructive surgery. A dog shall not be declared dangerous if the threat of injury or damage was sustained by a person who at the time was lawfully on the property, or while lawfully on the property, was unlawfully on the property, or while lawfully on the party, was tormenting, abusing, or assaulting the dog or its owner or a family member. No dog may be declared dangerous if the dog was protecting or defending a human being within the immediate vicinity of the dog from an unjustified attack or assault. In summary, the board today is charged with determining if the person that was bitten was lawfully on the property, the attack was unprovoked, the dog acted aggressively towards this person, and the person suffered severe injuries. Before we begin the hearing of testimony, I'll remind you all that testimony is taken under oath, administered by the clerk. At this time, we'll call upon Investigating Officer Megan Wilkes to give the pertinent facts of her investigation.
Okay, I'm going to start with a little bit of background, just because this is a little bit of confusing regarding the dog owners. So the technical owner is out of the country in Peru. Her parents have been taking care of the dogs while she's out of town, and they still fall under the definition of owner through the statutes and ordinances because they've been taking care of them in her absence.
Let me ask you, so Patty Garcia is in Peru.
Yes.
How was she properly served?
Because the owner is served and her parents they've been taking care of the dogs, they meet the requirements of owner through the definition of owner in the ordinances.
So they are acting as owner
Yes.
and victim.
Yes. That's why I wanted to explain this, because this is where it's going to get confusing.
And I had surmised as much. I just wanted to make sure we were clear.
Yes, they are both owner and victim in this case.
Thank you for clearing that up. Okay, go ahead. I have other questions, but we'll let you finish.
Okay. So on September 29th, Mrs. Garcia was taking care of the dogs. She was over the house. She let them out as she normally does. And then two of the dogs started a dog fight in the backyard amongst themselves. She attempted to get into the middle of it to break the dogs up, and then that's when the dog, Nayla, the dog in question, turned on her and went after her, bit both of her arms multiple times. She ended up being evac'd out by ambulance as a trauma alert to Halifax. Once I got there, I got the dog into one of the police officer cars. My truck was at the shop at the time, so I didn't have my truck. So when the officers helped me escort the dog to the Humane Society where the dog was held for quarantine, I notified her husband, Mr. Garcia. Mr. Garcia, in the panic, I thought he said Lily. He was trying to say Nayla. They're Hispanic, so his accent got a little thick, so that's where the name confusion came into play. So at the time, Mr. Garcia went ahead and signed surrender paperwork for the dog. Emotions were heightened and he was under duress and everything. When I went back after the incident and talked to them on October 4th, they said that, they didn't really want to give the dog up. They wanted the dog back and to keep the dog. When I asked how they would keep the dog separated until her daughter came back, they said that they would keep them on separate properties. One could stay at their place, the other could remain at her daughter's house. There wouldn't be any more issues going forward. Due to Mrs. Garcia's injuries, there's pictures in your packets of body cam of the video from when the officers got there. She had multiple bites on both arms. She ended up having multiple surgeries, and I don't even know how many stitches, but there was a lot of stitches on both arms. And then on October 6th, I delivered the initial determination of a dangerous dog, which then she appealed. And then on October 13th, I hand-delivered the hearing notice for today's hearing.
Who is Manny Morgan?
The husband, Manny Garcia.
Okay. In a case like this, once the complaint has been filed, are people permitted to withdraw the complaint and the case dropped?
Well, in this case, there's no really complaint filed. It was a neighbor who dialed 911 because she saw the woman getting attacked by the dog. So when the officers got there and when the paramedics got there, the dogs were still attacking each other and going after her. So they had to actually intervene to get her out of there. So it wasn't really a complaint filed, but because of the severity of it, they would still fall under the statute.
When you attempted to restrain the dog, capture the dog for transport, was the dog aggressive towards you?
At first, by the time I put the dog on a catch pole and put the dog into the patrol car, once we got to the shelter, I could see the dog calm down a little bit. Once it was out of that environment and kind of on her own, she did calm down a lot. But because of the damage that was done, we used extra caution unloading her at the shelter, and we still restrained her with a catch pole just because we didn't want anybody else to get hurt at that moment.
You know, looking at this case, just on the surface, this person was lawfully on her own property, meets all the criterion for a dangerous dog, with the exception of one thing, and we all probably know what I'm referring to.
Yes.
When two dogs are fighting, and this has come up before, when two dogs are engaged in a fight and a person tries to break them up, the interpretation of the law gets a little fuzzy for me, because the attack, while caused severe injury, the dog was not being aggressive towards the person. The dog was being aggressive towards another dog.
It was redirected aggression, basically what happened when the dog
That
turned
sounds
on
like
her.
a good word. Yeah, that's a good way to refer to it. So, without Mrs. Garcia here, we can only picture in our minds what may have happened. I don't know how aggressive the dog was to her. Would the dog have attacked her had she not intervened? Don't know. Maybe nobody does. But without her here to answer these, this is a very important question. We're talking about putting somebody's dog to sleep that's out of the country.
It would be deemed dangerous. I did not recommend euthanasia. I just recommended deeming the dog dangerous.
Yeah.
I do have an audio recording, if you'd like to hear it, of the 911 call. And in the call, she kind of describes what's going on while she's on the phone with 911. This is from the neighbor, if you want to hear it.
I don't know if any other board members want to hear it, but I can, again, I have a very good picture in my mind of what was going on. The critical question to be asked of this lady, it would be whether or not the dog attacked her, or was she collateral damage by interfering with getting in the middle of the dog fight. And I don't want a dangerous dog loose, but I know Patty Garcia as a responsible pet owner, and I'm without people here to answer our questions and address our concerns, I'm a little stymied as to which way to make recommendations.
And
Board members,
even though Patty Garcia is out of the country, I did reach out to her via email, and I know she's been in contact. Her mom's told me that Mrs. Garcia, she's been in contact with her regarding this, so she's aware of what's happened and kind of what's going on.
Did the mother and father, you said they wanted to retract, or were they, obviously they're not here, but has there been any history of this with the dog before?
No prior history.
And in quarantine, has she shown any aggression at all?
Not that I'm aware of, Bree. She works at the shelter. She's there for the quarantine.
She was definitely aggressive upon arrival, and she has shown animal aggression towards the other dogs. Obviously, we cannot handle them when they're on a quarantine, but when she was walking in and being exposed to the other dogs, she does show aggression as far as like animal aggression. But because she was on the quarantine, we're not able to handle them, so we don't know one-on-one.
So during the feeding process or any of that, there's been no...
They get locked out of the kennel, their food put in, and so you have no contact with them because it is a bite quarantine, so we don't put our staff at risk.
do you have any questions?
No, all good.
Okay. Mr. Bell,
Yes, sir.
do you have questions?
I'm still trying to put it all together because like you, without testimony, we make our own conclusions on what happened. I'm also in agreement that we don't want a dangerous dog in the community, but this is a case that we haven't had this type before.
No. Well,
So you could handle this probably 3 ways. You could continue it and re-notify if you believe that they will show up, and continue the hearing at that point in time to give them a second chance to appear. you could make your motion and decide what to do from there. And in the motion, you have the two options. One is to declare a dangerous dog and follow the statute of a dangerous dog classification. The second one is dangerous dog with the euthanasia possibility. I believe Ms. Wilk has stated that she's recommending classification, not euthanasia, so that it would follow the statute of a dangerous dog with muzzle, rabies shots, confinement, everything like that. Again, you could offer the opportunity if you want them to appear, hopefully they would appear, a continuance. And maybe look into, I haven't seen it in there, but a subpoena possibility, because the concern is you have cases like this, and if people willfully choose not to appear, it leaves you without knowledge, and then you can't make your decisions.
And here's how I'm leaning towards the dangerous dog designation, understanding that they have avenues of appeal to the decisions of this board.
Correct.
And if they're, for whatever reason, not here today, I would move forward and I would make a motion that this dog, Nayla, is a dangerous dog and be treated as such. And I put that in the form of a motion.
Now it calls for a second.
We have a second to the motion.
And that was Bree.
Oh, you seconded?
What?
Did you second?
No, I didn't.
No. Okay.
I just had one question. If we did give them another notice, would we have a specific time frame where they would have to get back and reapply for an appeal?
It would still fall within the statute. So they would have the ability to appear, like he said, and the appeal is typically in writing to the circuit court. So
Yeah, they would not appeal to us.
they do not appeal to us, they appeal to the circuit
Yeah,
court.
I
So
knew-
if you give them another chance.
Well, I knew that was the procedure, but
timing
as far as
doesn't-
coming in front of us, would they have a certain period of time to, if we
Yeah.
gave them another chance?
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that the hearing shall be held no later than 21 calendar days.
Yes.
So we're very close to that calendar days.
Mhm.
And this was done on their behalf because of the Peru aspect and everything like that. They
Mhm.
were fully noticed of this.
Mhm.
They were hand delivered, which is the best type of notice you can get.
Mhm.
So I think the assumption right now is that they're choosing not to appear.
Mm.
But at that point in time, I believe, as I said, those are your options. But you are still within that 21 calendar days, which would be really soon.
So was the assumption that they were going to appear and plead the case on behalf of the dog?
When I delivered the notice, they both told me they would be here.
And the assumption is if it was declared either way, they would come and pick the dog up and take it back?
That's what they told me when I delivered the notice, but they also told me they would be here, and they're not here, so.
Yeah, well, who knows why they're not here, but the assumption is they were coming, so. So if you continue to, that 21 days still starts, right? So they would have 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, or whatever the amount of time is to,
That would be my understanding. I mean, the date of the notice and the date of their appeal, it would have to be within 5 days after receipt, but no later than 21 days. So I am pretty sure we waited a week and a half, so we're pretty close to 21 days. Plus, then we'd have the notice aspect, your time, and everything else.
And for new members, Ms. Officer Wilkes, would you please explain what the dangerous dog designation means as far as enclosures and the responsibilities of the owners?
So, for a dangerous dog, if they're off property, they have to be on a muzzle. While they're on property, they have to be either contained by an enclosure, a fully enclosed enclosure, or they have to be on a leash on their property. They have to register with the city. They have to pay a fine to register the dog, and that's an annual fine. They cannot sell the dog or anything like that without notifying the city first. If the dog goes missing, gets loose, something happens, they have to notify the city.
and that is for life of the animal.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about the dangerous dog designation, what it is we're talking about here?
Oh, the only thing I left out, I'm sorry, if a dangerous dog were to bite somebody again, it's then a criminal charge at that point.
Okay. So the motion on the floor at this time is that the dog is a dangerous dog. And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Clerk, would you call the roll, please? A yes is for the dangerous dog designation.
James Belt,
Yes.
Dr. Munner,
Yes.
Christian Tobin,
Yes.
Kelly Minus,
No.
Brianna Mott.
Yes.
Motion carries. And the owners are to be notified, and they'll also be notified of the avenues of appeal that are available to them?
Yes, I'll take care of that.
Okay.
But they will appeal to the clerk or the circuit court, not
Circuit
the
Court, right, correct.
circuit. Good. Yeah, I don't think we had any other choice.
Yeah, okay. Was there any other business from staff?
Not for dangerous dog today, no.
Okay. We'll just follow the agenda. I don't think we have anything else going on, but especially new board members, you have questions or concerns? You
Nope.
have?
No.
Okay.
All good.
Okay.
Can you give us just a little bit of background on who you are?
Good idea.
Yeah, because I don't even know who you are.
No, that's fine, yeah. So Kelly Myers,
Kelly Mutter.
young 55 years old, born in
You're a kid.
Cincinnati, Ohio, moved to Carolinas when my dad was 10 and took a job here 2 years ago. I covered the state for a manufacturer, so I could pick anywhere. I picked New Smyrna because it reminded me just like Carolina Beach where I grew up in North Carolina. So same small beach town with the same history. Pet owner my whole life, not a pet owner currently. I did a pretty big stint at the Aiken County Animal Shelter in South Carolina. They have over 5,000 dogs a year that run through there. So I can understand the some of the challenges certainly that you all face out there in the field and certainly at the shelter. That's my no vote was really just because I was the lifetime stigma of that animal now without fully understanding
I know.
the other side
would have.
would have been my deal, but I also know the importance of keeping people safe and the public safe and things like that.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Thanks
I
for
appreciate it.
your contribution. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
All right, I'm Christian Tobin. I actually moved down here to New Smyrna Beach in June. I moved from North Carolina. I was born up in Jersey. Yeah, and then I used to volunteer at a shelter, in an animal shelter down in Fort Lauderdale when I was to college. And yeah, my mother's owned timeshare here since the 80s, so I've been coming here since I was born, pretty much. And yeah, I finally decided to move here. It's a great town, a city. It's great here.
All right. And
Very good.
Brianna?
My name's Bree, or Brianna. I'm the operations manager at Southeast. I've been back there for about 3 years. I've been in animal welfare and sheltering for about 14 years. I've worked at Halifax, I worked at Flagler, I've done a lot of internships and apprenticeships and everything, so got a lot of knowledge, more so for the cats, but we're delving into the
glad
dogs
you're here,
now.
'cause It's usually just me against the whole world, I swear. So yeah, it used to be that way when we used to fight about DNR a long time ago. Remember?
No.
We did. We did. We fought all the time.
We've got a great
got it done,
TNR
didn't we?
program.
We did. We got it done. And Brianna's Nora, she's been wonderful.
Brianna, we'll be calling.
I'm very happy.
Yeah, we'll be called upon you to give us whatever you have in the way of a shelter, not today, but prepared for future meetings. Be presented with a little bit of a shelter report, the numbers and the,
Absolutely.
and I mean, this is not a requirement, but I'd just like for board members to be well informed, and I would
Absolutely.
like for the shelter to be someplace that they all visit from time to time.
Yeah, that's great.
And
We've
not
made a
just
lot
be
of
that place out
improvements.
off Glencoe Road.
We've made a lot of improvements. If you haven't been there recently, we've got new dog kennels and everything. It's great.
Yeah, I signed up as volunteer when I first moved down here, and then COVID hit, and the
Oh,
world went
yeah.
nuts. But yeah, it's glad to see you guys. I'm going to get back out there. Yes.
Yeah,
And I
we're
don't
doing
want to
great.
just assume you know everything there is to know about Mr. Belt and I, but I've been a practicing veterinarian here in town for 35 years. And semi-retired 3 years ago, fully retired this past May. So I'm also chairman of the State Board of Veterinary Medicine, where I oversee all the discipline cases and oversee all licensing and testing of So this and that are my 2 full-time jobs now, so that's all I do.
There you go.
Mr. Belt, curriculum vitae is 1.5 miles long, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in animal care and control for, I don't know, 30 years. Partners and I wrote the TNR program about 12 years ago and introduced it to all the cities in the county and including the county. And we're very pleased and proud of our success. I just got numbers the other day that Volusia County has spayed and neutered over 83,000 animals in the past 12 years. Our nuisance complaints here, I also work with the city of Daytona. I'm a casual worker helping with their animal control, and I handle their cat issues. And in that period of time, in the last 3 years, our nuisance complaints have dramatically reduced. We even believe our population in the city of Daytona's cat population has also reduced. So even though I like all animals, I pretty much specifically in cats because it's just been part of my life for a long, long time. It's a passion of mine. And solving a long-term problem that's existed for 100 years and doing it the correct way is a real gratification process. So we're proud of what we've done. With Doc's help too, I mean, he helped make it happen. So we all work together to be successful. And this board has been a big part of it. So we appreciate all you new members to come on and help us. We really do.
Yep, I want to personally thank you for giving of your time and for realizing, of course, that our job here is to protect and serve, much like the police department, but in a little different way. And our decision that we made today may have been difficult for you, and understandably so. And I understand, I put myself in the seat out there. I put myself in the place of these pet owners. And have you been to a few of these? Hopefully we only have about one of these every year or two, fortunately. We don't have to make these kinds of tough decisions. But hopefully you'll have a comfortable feeling with your decisions. I try to get as much information out there for you to digest at these meetings, and unfortunately I wasn't able to do much of that today. But you can feel comfortable with your decision, and going forward, let's hope we never have another one of these, but when we do, you'll learn from each one of them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, this first one, I remember that it has one particular party only associated. It's always a second party. But and
This is
it's
the-
tough, like you said, without any testimony, it's really tough to
This is the least contentious one we've ever.
It is the least contentious one. That's a fact. There's been nobody arguing
Okay,
with
we have no
anybody.
public comments. There being no more business to come before this board, we stand adjourned.
Okay.